Hello, and welcome to Single in a Small Town. I am your host. This is my guest, Lisa, and she is my unofficial co-host. And this is a conversational podcast discussing dating, relationships, and all the shenanigans that go along with those topics. And if you like my content, please like and subscribe on YouTube, because that's where I'm at right now. That's where you can find me. Click that button wherever it is. If I can find out where to put it on here, it's going somewhere. But I have a really slow computer, so it's a learning curve. Anywho, I think I might have to upgrade. Last thing I really want to do is spend the money on new stuff, but it looks like that's going to be what I have to do. So anyways, Lisa and me are going to be talking about Women's History Month. So we're going to be talking about the history of feminism, the good, the bad, and the truth behind it, which there's a lot of good stuff, but there's also a lot of stuff that is not that great for the family unit. So, and my notes are now over here. So when you see me looking over here, it's because I'm looking at my notes. Anyhow.
Okay, wait. But first, before we get into that, I got to ask you about the guy you were dating.
I wasn't dating anybody.
No? Well, what about the guy you were telling me about?
Which one?
Which one indeed? Which one indeed? I have to say that just even watching the podcast, I have learned so much about myself and about how other people perceive dating. It's been very interesting.
Dating sucks. I'm pretty much done with it. I want to just throw myself on the floor and kick and scream and say I'm not doing it anymore, because it does suck.
The episode you did with James, he said a couple things that I was like, yeah, you're right, because you are trying to have a really great relationship with somebody like out of the gate, and it's very hard to do that. You need to go spend time with them, and it's hard.
Well, over the summer, I went out with a guy a couple times, like over a span of 2 weeks. We went out a lot, and he was really generous, good looking, fun. But he wanted to take it from 0 to 100 within 2 weeks. Yeah. And I've been single a long time. I'm sitting there thinking to myself,
slow roll.
Whoa, can we not jump yet? I enjoy hanging out with him, but I'm not ready for that full throttle thing yet. It's going to be baby steps with me. So now he's in a full on relationship. Apparently it's really serious, and I mean, good for him.
Yeah.
I'm happy for him.
Okay, had to get that update out of the way.
Yeah.
Because I feel like talking about feminism and how we progressed over the years, that's part of it's why I'm single, probably.
Yeah, feminism is probably...
I'm a do-it-yourself kind of girl. I got it.
Yeah.
I got it.
But at the same time, I always knew that I did not want to rely on somebody else to survive.
Me too.
Which is kind of what the male-female dynamic has always been. They relied on each other to survive. The male's role is to provide and protect the woman and the children.
Yeah.
And the woman her role was to, take care of everything.
The family union.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that kind of has been destroyed by feminism. Now, that being said, women now don't have to stay in abusive relationships unless they choose. It's a choice at this point.
Yes. You are not locked in. You are not locked in.
You're not locked in. So that's a benefit, but for somebody like me, I've always wanted a family. Now I am past the baby making age. I'm not doing that. So finding a life partner is I would say it's a priority, but it's not a priority. I would like to, but I'm sick of the dating shit out there. It sucks.
Yeah. All right. So you did a lot of research on this.
I did a lot of research on this. So we're going to talk about the first wave of feminism. We're going to go through this. The first wave of feminism was 1848 to 1848 to 1920. Wow. Yeah. And I don't really think that this is quote unquote feminism but when I was doing my research, they consider this the first wave of feminism. And that is when women got to own property.
Yep.
And they also got the right to vote. However, that did not include women of other ethnicities.
Interesting.
And men of other ethnicities. So that came in the 1960s, I believe. Don't quote me. I'm not a historian. I am just a hairstylist.
We're talking about it.
Yeah, I'm just a hairstylist, doing some research and creating content. So if I got my facts wrong, fact check me.
Yeah, drop it in the comments.
Yeah, say something. So yeah, women couldn't own property until the 1900s. And it was typically women who were widowed or women who it wasn't like a woman going to seek property. I
Right.
mean, maybe that happened. I really don't know.
Eventually.
I wasn't in that lifetime.
You take
then.
one wave, right? Then it snowballs, as the research has shown. We kept going
Yeah.
as a
Which is cool because, I mean, I don't know the statistics on this, but a lot of single women own property. She's one. I would like to be one, but I missed the market.
I know. It's like settling back down.
Yeah.
I've started to house hunt again, at least to put eyes on it. You got to will it into existence. Got to will it into existence.
I look at it all the time, and I'm just like, I'm a single income person living in a double income world.
Yeah, until you get like 14 sponsors on your podcast, and then you're going to be rolling in dough. So just keep going in that direction.
Speaking of my non-sponsored water, it's actually vodka straight up. Just kidding. So actually in 1969 is when women were able to vote in Wyoming. That's what it said. That's when the process started happening. And then the 1920s, there was the 19th, I believe it was the 19th constitutional amendment, which allowed women to vote. The second wave, this one is the defining moment. It was from 1963 to the 1980s.
60s, 70s, 80s, okay.
Yeah. And that was the reevaluation of traditional gender roles in society and the end of sexist discrimination, which is bullshit. There's still sexist discrimination. There's discrimination everywhere. It doesn't matter who you are, what you do. There's a discrimination of you regardless. People discriminate against dogs, like everything.
Seriously, dog people versus cat people.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can make it up
Or
if you want
I don't
to.
like your brand of dog.
Yeah.
You got a small dog. I don't like those. Little ankle biters.
Yeah.
Have a big dog. Like, okay.
Yeah, two sides to every coin.
Every single coin. So, like, if you think you're singled out because you're a specific person, no. Everybody gets discriminated against. But I think that between the 1960s and the 1980s, that's where a lot of the family units started pulling apart. Mm-hmm. Divorce rates went up. Yeah, you can be a single woman. But I was listening to somebody else, and this is a while ago. She was basically saying, it's Teal Swan. Do you ever follow her?
No, but I might have to check it out now.
So she's kind of, I don't want to say she's anti-feminist. She's kind of a realist. But she says women are better mothers when they have a good partner. And that's true.
Yeah.
Because it's really, I mean, I watched a lot of my single mom friends raise children, and it's difficult.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like you could flip that also. I bet a lot of fathers are better fathers when they have a good partner.
100%.
Well, you can divide and conquer.
Right.
Right?
There's two.
It doesn't matter what it is. You got stay-at-home dads, you got stay-at-home moms while the other partner goes off to work.
Right.
Or
both of you work, but both of you are hands-on afterwards.
I know.
That's so when I watched my single friends, so I thought like in my 20s, if I didn't have a partner by my 30s, I was going to do artificial insemination.
Really?
And then, yes, I remember telling my grandmother that, and she was like, well, I guess you don't need a man to have a baby. And I was like, not really. And then the older I got, the more I was like, yeah, no.
No, you want to do it with a person.
I don't want to do this by myself. Now, there's no guarantee that you're going to stay in a committed relationship with this person. I mean, allergies suck in Florida.
They do.
But it doesn't, I don't want to intentionally bring a child into this world without a father figure.
Mm-hmm. But some people really, really, really wanted to have kids and did it anyway. Or and met somebody. Yeah, it does work.
It works for them.
I agree with you though, because people ask me like, don't you want to have kids? And I've never actually thought of it like as alone. I always thought that was the second decision I would make after I got married and found my person. Right. We would make that decision together.
Right.
I never thought of it as my decision first. It was always going to be a partner decision.
Right.
So when I'm not married, I have not gotten to the child piece of it yet. And there's always, like, maybe you're not of childbearing age anymore, but there's so many people that need help in the foster system, adopting, and even if you want to just adopt dogs and foster dogs and be a little dog mom, you could do that too. There are a lot of others that need help. You don't have to create new.
I would have a bleeding heart with fostering dogs.
Oh, I would have a living room full of dogs. I wouldn't be able to give them back.
I wouldn't either. No, my last dog, I fell in love with her within like 2 days. I was trying to find her home. She was lost. I think she was dumped. Oh, best friend in the world, best dog in the world. I miss her so much. Anyways, yeah, Pina was dumped. But anywho, so when you think about those times, and where we are today, more women are single. Like, we live in this small town. It's not really that small, but it is a small town because everybody knows everybody. And when you look at the dynamics of how many more single women there are than men, now I do believe, and I don't know the statistics here, so if I'm wrong, you can leave a comment.
Yeah.
Fact check me.
Talk about it in the comments. We'll respond. And maybe we'll update not this episode, but we might update future episodes with, oh, by the way, we were called out on this and I did the research. Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm going to cough again.
So are you going towards... What are you going towards? Where's your point?
Oh, I lost it. And now my computer went down. I lost my point.
Well, you were going down the path of there's so many more single women.
So in Florida, I think in Florida there's more women than there are men. So
just in general?
Yes, if you go out to Colorado, it seems like there's more men than there are women. It's like colder climates, and I don't really know this to be. I'm just bullshitting.
We're observing.
But whenever I go to certain areas, I feel like the Northeast is a balance of men and women, and there's not a lot of single people. I could be completely wrong. Like New England.
Yeah.
New York. I think there's a balance. I could be wrong.
Do you think that maybe women are more open about being single? Therefore you see more women at group meetups?
Maybe. Maybe. Well, because, girls are mean and guys sometimes don't want to be around us.
No, girls are mean on purpose.
No, we're not mean on purpose. I try not to be. I'm super hypersensitive to that now because I want to make sure that I am not that mean person.
I love talking to strangers.
I like talking to strangers too. But sometimes I'm not in the mood. And it's very few and far between. Mm-hmm. It just depends on the threshold, right?
Yeah.
How do you...
Exactly. I know exactly what you mean, but there's never... If I am sitting at a bar by myself, and maybe that's my intent, is I'm going to have a drink and get an appetizer and hang out by myself, talk to the bartender. If someone sits down next to me, you're at the bar. You are in the social zone. You're in the talking area.
That's why I like sitting at a bar when I'm eating dinner. Not to pick up a guy, just to have a conversation.
Yeah.
I like to talk.
And
I like to listen to people's stories, too.
I do, too.
Anyways, I digress. So, back to our feminist conversation. So, women began entering the workforce in 1964. And 1/5 of all women earned a living from daily labor. So, if you think about that, that's automatically tearing apart the family unit right there. Because the wife is no longer at home making dinner, taking care of the husband. Now she's got to do all of that and work. And then he's not doing enough. And then that's where we have this issue where people tend to get divorced either financially, somebody's overspending, or, I hear it a lot. People bitch. Their significant other is not pulling their weight, and the other person feels like they're carrying the heavy load while the other one is not. And if they're both working full-time jobs or overtime or whatever they're doing, there's an imbalance, and I feel like people don't like that imbalance. I know I don't like that imbalance.
It's an interesting way to look at it, because I would just say communicate with your partner. If you're unhappy, how about we talk about it before are there all these unsaid harboring feelings? You know what I mean?
Easy for us to say.
I know, absolutely.
Easy for us to say. But we're single. But if you have a married person, if you have a married person, right. If you have somebody that's married, I don't know, you can have those conversations, and maybe they'll do it once or twice, because I hear this all the time. They did it once or twice. But next week, it's back to the same old shit.
Did you ever read the love languages or do the love languages thing?
I know about the love languages. Yes.
Well,
I never
add
read
it to your reading list because you have a relationship and dating podcast. So it actually makes sense though, because it's basically reading people's energy, which you are also very good at, and understanding where they feel valued and where they don't feel valued. And it's usually you can identify like what type it is. Like, do I like compliments? Do I like words of affirmation? Do I like little gifts? There's these categories that you can pretty much break people down into.
Yeah.
Where acts of service is one of those things where you not taking out the garbage might piss me off, but if you wrote me love notes and put it in my lunch every day, it would make up for that. Like it's a delicate balance. You know, it's just,
but that means
you knowing your person.
But if he's not taking out the garbage, what makes you think he's gonna pack your lunch? He's not packing your lunch.
It's just figuring out different stuff. Maybe he's the cook of the two of us.
I did have that once. It was nice. It was nice.
Okay, we're talking about feminism here. We're talking about non-traditional roles.
Right.
So that doesn't mean that the woman has to cook all the time.
No, it doesn't.
Like, right? So maybe I'm taking out the trash.
Right.
And I'm building something in the backyard.
Well, I know a lot of women that like to mow the lawn.
I would agree with that.
You know, that gives them their exercise. They enjoy it. They kind of in a meditative state. They put their ear pods in and they're mowing the lawn. Mm-hmm. I particularly don't like to mow the lawn, mainly because I'm allergic to a lot of stuff that's in there, and I will break out in hives.
Pollen season.
And then I'll have to be on Benadryl for 2 weeks, and it's just not good. So I digress.
See? Okay, so now what you do is just like look at life. What does it take to get through life? Make a list, just high-level basic stuff. Put all the stuff you don't want to do in one column, and then title that My Dream Man. And then you go find that guy.
Shit I don't want to do.
Did I just solve? But I'm serious. Like, I need help around the house, like building things. Yes, because I always wait for my dad to come visit, and I'm like, Dad, can we hang a shelf? Can I do it? Yeah, I can do it. But do I like having my dad do it? I do. I really do.
You know, I have a friend. I have a lot of friends, but one of them one time was bitching. She's like, I always have to clean this house. If I just lived by myself, everything would be where I left it. And I was like, look, dude, I just cleaned my entire house last Sunday. Everything was, now it's Thursday. There's still dishes in my dishwasher. The sink is full. The pan from Tuesday's still out. And I haven't taken out the garbage yet. I only have me to blame, but it's still not done because I didn't do it. Yeah. So just because you think that he should be doing that stuff, just so you know, and also I know how she lived, bullshit. Her house would still be just as messy if it was just her.
Yeah.
But
she would know where everything was.
You would know where everything was.
I left my sock over there.
It's over in that corner. I know where that sock was. What is it with socks too? I don't understand. I have 6 socks. And they're all they're a couple different colors, like they have little stripes on them. I don't know. Does the dryer eat socks?
Yes, 100%. There's a dryer sock monster.
Okay.
100%.
Okay, we just went off topic.
Okay, we'll cover dryer sock monster next episode.
Yes, we're going to do that.
All right. Continue.
So, second wave also included equal pay, which I don't know.
We're still fighting that battle.
Do you feel like there's equal pay?
Because it's National Women's History Month.
National Women's History Month. Women's Day.
Yeah, all the things celebrating women. I heard something on the radio this morning about, I think it's today, I think it's March 13th, is Equal Pay Day, where women have to work this far into the year to make what men made last year, still. And that's totally sweeping generalized statements, of course. But, so, I mean, March is the 3rd month, so you have to work an extra 2.5 months-ish.
See, I'm self-employed now, but when I worked in the corporate industry, I did feel like, but this is also a decade ago, and it might have made improvements by now. And I think every year it probably does make improvements. Mm-hmm. I'm probably not the right person to discuss this topic because I don't know anything about it. I'm self-employed.
Do you pay yourself fairly?
I pay myself
good.
Fairly, yes.
I feel and have pretty much always felt valued. The companies that I did not feel valued, I left.
Right.
And someone said to me one time, men make more money because they ask for it. And they're clear with what they've done and what they're going to do to earn that number. And I think women wait around to be recognized. It's, again, general sweeping statements. Wait around to be recognized. Like, you didn't see all the stuff I did? Well, did you give that list to your boss? Did you say, hey, I've been doing all this stuff, and did you make the company better? And how are you going to continue to make the company better to validate more?
You know,
that's simple, right?
Yeah. And women like to feel recognition. Men like to feel respected. Women like to feel like protected and recognized. I guess that's also a sweeping statement. But
we're making a lot of sweeping statements. That should be the tagline. Single to Small Town podcast. We make sweeping statements.
We make sweeping statements.
Correct us in the comments.
We don't know shit about being married. We know nothing.
No.
Not her and I. I mean, some people that will be on here, but trying to get married people on here, I think they think that they're going to insult their partner, which I don't ever want that to happen. Like, I don't know what's going on with that. But here you got Lisa and I, so here we are. But, and then the Roe v. Wade, and I don't really want to talk much about that because there's such a controversy. I don't think it should be political. I don't think it should be political.
I don't think a lot of this stuff should be political.
I don't think a lot of it should be political either, but they, the media perpetuates it and then blasts it out there. And some things are really good movements. Some of them are. And then other ones I feel like, so somebody told me with feminism, what it did was it tore apart the family. This is a conspiracy. And I don't think this is a wrong. So he tore apart the family. Now you have two incomes now. So you have two people making two incomes, putting two income taxes in. Then kids are going to school. They're not learning as much from home. Then the governmental institutions are infiltrating and telling your kids how to think and be. And then, boom, we have what we have today.
It's an interesting theory when you think about it like that.
It really is.
The wormholes you can go down, I mean, with anything, but I've never thought of it like that. I've never thought about women's rights into the government gets more tax money. That the two have never connected in my head.
But they do.
It's true. It is a true statement.
Yeah. Because when you don't, I think, and I could be wrong because I'm not married and I've never filed a dual income tax return or income tax, never filed dual taxes, but I think you get tax breaks from being married. And maybe not. I don't know. Let us know what you think. Do you get tax breaks from being married?
Yeah, we got to talk to some married people.
If you are newly married and you're filing your taxes together, put on the comment, are you benefiting from it? Or are you getting raked over the coals? We want to know. So today, nearly 7 million women in America are wage earners. And, oh, wait, back up. Beep, beep, beep. So the third wave is exposing sexual harassment in the workplace. So, which I feel like, if you're in your 40s, you have definitely experienced this at some time. And if you haven't, I want you to say, I have not. Say that in the comment. But, I mean, have you? No.
I mean, not that I couldn't laugh off. Nothing that ever made me feel crazy, uncomfortable.
Okay. So, when I was
worked
younger,
in the restaurant industry. I worked in some industries where people make snide comments, but I'd make them right back.
And that's the thing. If you can fire back, that's cool. But when I was really younger, I had a couple, and it's not a lot. And I'm not doing like the whole, we're gonna get into that in a minute. But yes, I've had really uncomfortable comments when I was really young, and part of it was where I worked. I worked at a restaurant where there was a little more revealing than, your typical Outback. It was a wing place. I've worked at a few of those, but it was really one manager at one location, and he was really inappropriate and very uncomfortable, and he was a creep. He was a fucking creep. Excuse my French. But then we have, when I was younger in the corporate world, I had somebody that was asking me really personal, inappropriate questions, and I was really uncomfortable, and I didn't answer them. I was really put off by it. Like, that's none of your business, first off. But, so yeah, I have had that happen, But as I've gotten older, that kind of stuff is almost character building. You build thicker skin, and then you learn to fire back a little bit faster.
Yeah, some people can't handle it, though.
A lot of people can't handle it, and I feel like today's society, like younger people today, I don't think would happen. But men can also have that with women, because women, there's a lot of women out there that won't really see that boundary either, and they may make a comment to a guy. Most guys probably find that flattering, and I've had comments where I have found flattering too that are borderline harassment. But I feel like I've never gone to a higher up to accuse somebody. You just kind of handle it, take a mental note, and you're like, let's avoid that situation again.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I can't. I'm like trying to rack my brain. I got nothing.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Skating by.
Yeah, you are. But at the same time, like today, it's been since I was in my early 20s, so I'm a middle-aged woman now. Nobody really wants to sexually harass me, and I really would like it these days. I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Volunteering.
So yes, the fourth wave, and I don't agree with this being the fourth wave. I think it's crap, but the fourth wave is the Me Too movement. And that is kind of what I was just talking about now, like the stuff that I experienced when I was younger, like me too, it did happen to me. It happens to a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's how you handle it. Like I wasn't running to, and I'm not saying that, there are certain situations where you definitely need to tell somebody or press charges or do whatever you need to do. Like there's definitely a way of taking it. I've never been physically assaulted in any way. Douche move of the week.
We talked about a couple.
Well, just don't treat women like shit.
Yeah. Don't treat anyone. Don't treat anyone like shit.
Yeah, if you're in the workplace and you can tell, feel the vibe. Like if you can tell somebody is not feeling your banter, don't do it.
Yeah.
Some people will play along, and those people that play along, don't cry wolf. That's a douche move. If you're playing along and then you want to cry wolf because of whatever the case may be, you're not cool, dude. Don't do that.
Yeah. I do feel like I am lucky that I have empathy and I have like personal awareness. I can feel other people's energy,
Yeah, me too.
Not everybody can. So not everybody knows that you're making them uncomfortable. So sometimes you do need to maybe take a step back, do something like say, just remove yourself from the situation. Say, excuse me, I need to go over here. Or you're in my personal space. I need you to back up a little bit.
Back up.
I feel like that's an acceptable thing to say.
Yeah, or
not funny. Going back to sitting at a bar, being in a bar, and usually people are drinking. Sometimes they lose the boundaries that are around themselves. They don't keep a 1 foot bubble. They're all up in your bubble like this.
Have you had that?
Oh my God. The close talker? Just little intoxicated. And
I will just move my chair away.
Way too close talker.
I'll move my chair away.
If I was there first, you're moving your chair away. Or I usually skate out of the situation if I can. No, you've never had the close talker come in and try to be funny, and you're like, you're not funny, man.
No.
I don't politely said.
Not that I can remember. I'm sure I have, but not that I can actually remember. Because that would I don't like. I have it when it's kind of crowded and you just want to scoot away a little bit.
Yeah. Or they slide into the side and just try to order from the bar and hey, what's up? And usually I'm with somebody. I'm like, oh, hey, just chatting with my girlfriend over here, and I do a physical turn of the shoulder.
Yes.
To not,
because they're
gonna keep inviting if I can, or if some people don't get a hint. You need to be a little more direct.
Or when they're trying to monopolize your conversation, or they're trying to steal you away from your friend. I've been in that situation. I'm really good at doing the back turn. If I'm sitting with you.
Yeah.
We had this situation last week.
Yeah.
We were going to record, and then both of us were nasally, and we were like, no, we're not going to do that. But this lady, super nice lady, but yeah, we kind of had... She was nice, but she was...
reading the menu to us?
And telling us what was good. I'm like, we know.
It was just a very interesting interaction, and we were trying to have a conversation at the same time. So we kind of had to shut it down and make some moves. That was very interesting.
But I have had friends that like actually sit there and talk to the person, and they're like, and then you're just like, dude, and now I'm out, and now you're hanging out with that person, and then you could tell that they just don't know how to get out of it, and you're just like, hey,
yeah.
So I've had that more so.
Some people like talking to weird people also. So
or they feel bad. I have a friend that feels bad for. I feel bad for them. Well, feel bad for me because I'm with you and I'm not talking to you.
Now I'm alone.
Yeah. I would have just went to the bar by myself and got dinner. Anyhow, that's all the time we have for today on Single in the Small Town. If you like my podcast or our podcast, or if you like this podcast, please like and subscribe to Single in a Small Town. We're also on Instagram and YouTube, Single in a Small Town Podcast. Stay tuned for our next weekly episode. We thank you for your support. And if you want to be on this show, or if you have any ideas of content we should create, please send an email to sendflowerstolisa@yahoo.com. Thanks and have a great day.